the best way to start this video is just by saying thanks. I wanted to give y'all a little something different this week since we've made it to 100 subscribers. And once we hit 100 subscribers, we're already all the way up to 141. I don't know how that happened, but we are jumping milestones. We're almost to 150 in this sort of short span of like 2 weeks. So thank you all so much for coming, supporting me. If this is like an introduction to me, I'm Devin. I am an artist. I have been selling my artwork at markets for like going on 4 years now. Started in Central Illinois. I moved to Minneapolis and sold there for 3 years. And then now I am back in Central Illinois. So it's actually my first summer with kind of a new style, showing this new style at the markets here in Central Illinois. Super exciting. I'm also a full-time stylist at the moment, fashion stylist. I would like my art to replace that in the future, but right now we have a full-time job and we are an artist. And I'm gonna go ahead and announce it, I guess is the right word. I have gotten on Twitch and I have discovered the world of streaming and I love it. I love it so much. I'll put my little tag, whatever you need, whatever it's called, so you can go follow me right here. What my name is over there. I've been doing a lot of everything. I've been playing some cozy games. I've been doing a lot of co-working since my day job is at home and I live alone. There's a lot of just like silence. So I found a really lovely co-working community over there. And I've been doing some sketchbooks sessions over there too, which is super fun. So little plug for that new thing if you want to go check it out. I also have a Patreon going on. So that's also linked below if you want to check that out. But again, this is just kind of like a big ol' thank you for all the support that you're already giving me, and you don't need to do anything more. But it's also a good introduction because I think a lot of people watch studio vlogs regardless. And so with all those hats I wear, this is kind of like a studio office tour, current newbie streamer setup. So we're going to do the room by sections and we're going to deep dive into all the areas too, like all the drawers and the shelves and the bags. So you can see everything that I use and how I got the space to work for me. So let's dive into it. You've seen a little glimpse of the room already. So I think we're going to start over at my work desk. And we'll kind of circle around and we'll end up back here at my art creating table. Let's hop to it. I will put little like time jumps below if you're like not interested in something, but let's go. All right, so first stop on this tour is the desk. So this is where I do my day job, where I do all the admin stuff for my art shop, and like it's where I order product, where I schedule myself for markets, where I edit photos, where I edit these videos, all that jazz happens here. It's a small little desk. I wanted something tiny that would perfectly fit in this corner between this wall and this window. I think I found the perfect size desk for it. I have a nice Studio Ghibli obscure scene here. I like this because there's no characters in it, and so if maybe you don't necessarily know the movies, you can look at it and be like, oh, it's a cute little art scene. It's the kitchen in Howl's Moving Castle, if you needed a hint. And that's what it is. And we'll go through this piece by piece, but I just wanted to welcome you to this little area. The little bit of decor I have up here, we have this beautiful clock that my mom got me for my birthday. It's currently out of battery. It just ran out of battery. And normally the paddles swing back and forth and it's adorable. And then I thought this spread of this big ol' wood block calendar matched the colors of that perfectly. And then my rug is also the same colors as these. So it's just, it really all ties together really well. And that just kind of happened per chance. So I'm rather pleased with that setup. And so if you come down, we've got my monitor, my computer, my keyboard, mouse, These are just a wireless pair of headphones from Amazon. They were like the cheapest ones there. I don't know what brand they are or anything, but they're nice and purple, which is cute. I always have my mug and just this little cup that holds just a few things. I try not to overcrowd this. So I have chapstick in here, my iPad, pencil, one pen, and one marker. I never need a pencil over here unless I'm using my sketchbook, so my pencils stay with my sketchbook. Down below, we've got a bifold, or whatever this is called, you know, accordion folded folder with all my important things, taxes, business stuff, utility stuff for the house, car stuff, all that stuff is there. We've got a scanner underneath that. It's nice and flat, which is lovely. And then this is actually a big chunky safe. It's a fireproof safe so that I've got like all my identification stuff in there. Passport, birth certificate, you know, like the boring but necessary stuff you need to have handy when doing all sorts of things. That's a little tiny pencil case for my blue light glasses. It actually slid in here. I have a big guillotine for cutting papers and everything. That's just, it kind of hides there in the shadow of everything. And it's really just the best place for it. I never use it at this desk. I always use it over at the table, but it's just kind of the lowest profile area for it to stay kind of hidden, which is nice. My slippers are down here for, you know, comfort. And in this little box, we have the extra cords, my laptop that I take with me when I like go to coffee shops or out on my porch to work. And then my remote control for when I'm playing games, because I'm a streamer now. Remember I said that. So when I'm streaming, I'm using this camera here, and I got these lights. They're really handy. They just swivel up and around right to where I need them to be. One on each side of my face, because I tend to stream into the night. And like the stream will start in the daytime, and then by the end of it, it's dark out. So we gotta have lights. This chair I just got at Office Depot about, I don't know, going on 3 years ago, and it's definitely about time to replace it. The padding is going too thin, and the butt is starting to hurt a little bit. So the next part of the desk area is kind of this window area, which is mainly just plants for aesthetics, which I love. I just put my tripod over there since you're in my hand now. That's what that is. So when you come into my studio, this is kind of the view you get. And it's a view that I really like. I think it's lovely, big front picture window. This is actually a little space heater. It turns on, it's fire, it's lovely, but it's hot today, so I'm not turning it on. And then I have my to-do list notebook here, and I've got my iPad back here for easy access. And then in between, I just have some like necessary things that you don't need to see. So it's kind of nice because I can keep like my checkbook, my Menard rebate slips, and that sort of stuff there. And then it's hidden between those two bigger pieces. And then I've got all sorts of plants. I can do a plant tour a different day. I have quite a few plants, so we're not going to go through each of them individually today. But yeah, let me know if you have any specific questions on like equipment, and I can definitely try to figure that stuff out for you and respond to you in the comments. So just let me know, and we'll move on to this beautiful piece over here. So I found this dresser on Facebook Marketplace for about, I don't know if it was 20 or 40 bucks, but somewhere right in that realm. And I sanded it all the way down, and I added these new handles. I didn't add on a protective coating, so I can't put anything wet on it. Because every protective coating I found, it kept adding a really warm yellow stain to it, even though they said they were clear. And I waited for them to dry, right? But they always dried a little bit more yellow than I wanted. So it's not protected, but I haven't had any issues with that yet, which is great. And up here we've got some faux candles that I never turn on. They're solely decorative. I got them a few years ago for Christmas from my mom. We got a little avocado friend, little avocado stuffy. He's cute. He was a little Christmas present as well. This gorgeous vase It's one of my favorite things ever. That's, I think, another reason the corner is like, it's the dresser that I worked hard on. It's a lot of my own artwork, and it's this gorgeous space, which I can never get enough of. The potter's name is Sidecar Ceramics. That is the business name. She's based in Minneapolis, and her work is just so fun and unique and funky. And if you like that, go check her out. Again, she's going to be tagged below, and I'll put her here somewhere on the screen. Sidecar Ceramics. She's going to be at Art Whirl at the same place that I'm going to be set up in May. So you can come check us both out at the same time if you're in the area. It'll be really fun. We have one of my own paintings here, and then these two on the wall are also mine. Basically, all the paintings I have up that are mine, I just take them off the wall and take them to shows with me because they're all framed, so I figure I might as well use them to decorate my own space while I have them. And then in each of these drawers, we'll go through exactly what's in all of them. So I'll bring you a bit closer, but I wanted to give you the full view as I walked through it to begin with. All right, top two drawers. I think the top drawer is the most fun. So maybe we should have done it last, but we're gonna do it first. This is most of my supplies. I shouldn't say most, but I mean, it's definitely what I use most often. So I was super glad that it had these little dividers in here already. It just made it really easy to organize. So over here is all of my acrylic paints. I like the Liquitex brand, as you can tell. I have a few just Craft Smart metallic paints as well. I've used them for quite a few things, and even though they're like the cheapest brand, they work really well. And then I've got my matte varnish here, and these are all of my inks, as well as the little nubbins for my, whatever you call it, pens, not quills, fountain pen, ink pen, whatever you call it. I've got them hiding in here too. I have a set of these Dr. P.H. Martins, which, like, I don't mind them, but you do have to shake them up. They separate really easily. So my preferred ink is definitely, it's the same brand, but they're not the Bombay. They're the Black Star. Blacks, at least. Maybe that's just the color. I don't know, but I do like these a lot. And then I had a set of Winsor & Newton ink that were gifted to me, and I really do love these, but I hate that they don't have droppers. I hate that they all don't have droppers. I think every ink thing should have a dropper. That's my 2 cents on inks and their packaging. Over here we have another matte varnish. This one's a spray, so I use it for pencil sketches and things like that, especially mostly in my sketchbook. I haven't done any finished like pieces of artwork that I like have sold or anything in pencil, but in my sketchbook I hate when they get all smudgy. But basically this section is like the tools. So like a lot of palette knives and some crap paintbrushes, some paint tape. I have a few texture making tools in here too. I think they're originally for sculpture, but I don't do that, but I have them. So sometimes I play with them, and then I have my rag for, you know, dabbing my wet paintbrushes and stuff also in here. This one is a heck of a mess, and it will always be a mess. It's just the nature of this kind of drawer. So forgive me. And here we go. This is my projector and other like electronic things that I tend to use for art but don't need to have out. So I've got my hard drive in here. Like I said, that's my projector for when I have a nice sketch on my iPad, or I did a sketch in my sketchbook and decided I wanted to use that exact sketch. I'll take a picture and transfer that onto a bigger, you know, canvas by using that. I have a staple gun that is in here because I haven't used it yet. And it's for stretching my own canvas, which is in the plans but haven't done. These don't need to be in here, but I don't know why I feel like I have to keep them. But since a lot of you know, I have a new, it's a new house to me. but it's a very old house, so we were redoing things. And when I say we, I just mean my family's helping me out a lot. So these are all my swatches and things. And they're really just hanging out in here. And they're just gonna be in here for now because I don't know what else to do with them. My tape things can be here. They could also easily go up here, so I think I'm gonna move them up here for now. They should be more in there. This is a projector cord. My smaller guillotine fits in here. And then these are actually all of my, I've been trying to figure out where to put these. So these are my Patreon rewards. I always keep a set for myself because I would like to have them all up somewhere so I can see them. But for now, at least I can look through them. And then I have a stack of really stupid prints that I hate that I will be giving away for free at Art of Whirl. And they're a nice flat barrier. And underneath that, I actually have some small originals and things. But I'm not going to get them out because they are buried. And it's not a tour of originals today. But that is what's in there. Let's go a bit lower into the bigger drawers. Now, I'll just keep you on and lower you. Okay. Okay, here are the last four. Whoops, sorry. The last four drawers. This one. This is a lot of my, most of these four drawers are going to be products. Let me just see what this looks like. I'm going to move you a little closer. Oop. Mostly product. So these are my little card sets. They're very cute. In every pack, you get all of these cards. Oops. Heck, I don't even have them in here nicely, but you get a few different designs in each pack, and they're adorable, and I love them. So I have these organized in here. I've got my Spirited Away packs in here. It says Studio Ghibli, not Spirited Away, because there's some Howl's Moving Castle stuff in here too. These small prints are very old, and I'm just like waiting for them to sell out, because then I will redo them because I do like them. I also have this anime set, which I'll show you because it's one of my favorites too. It just has like, they're not anime as you know, they're just kind of like anime styled pieces that I've done. But those do well at markets. This is actually my new Patreon print, which is why it's still all packaged up. And I ordered a ton of them because I think they're going to sell really well at Art of Whirl here in May. And these are all my 6x8 and 5x7 prints. And I have some little 5x5s as well. But I can stack them all very nicely in here. And it doesn't look like a lot, but there's a ton in there. There's a ton in there. Ugh. The next is going to be mainly like canvases and not mediums, but like surfaces that I want to work on. So big canvases, wood panels, like Canson paper, big pieces of paper. You know, they're just my materials, basically. That's kind of just all I'm saying. That's all that's in here. I'm so lucky I have these huge ass drawers for all this. In here, we got a little stuck. Whoop. Not gonna open it too much so it doesn't fall. Let me lower you so you can see what's happening. This is my drawer with all of my 11x14 prints are stacked over here. All my stickers are shoved back in here in their respective organizational baggies. I have my extra packaging over here too. So I've got just like extra foam board pieces that I've kept from art that I've purchased so I can reuse them. My Patreon info card that I stick in everything. Yeah, and just kind of extra packaging bits and bobs there. And then final drawer is just going to be my larger prints all stacked. So my 16x20 prints fit in this drawer, which I'm super glad about. Which if you remember, they're the two prints that were next to my dresser here on the wall. So the blue and kind of orangey streetscape. So I've got just all of my 11 by 17s in here, stacked on up. And it's just so nice that they fit in here. Look at all my Spirited Away posters. But yeah, that is the art dresser. Now we're making our move from our dresser corner across the room, another window. This, I don't know what to do with it for sure. It's like, obviously it's boxes and I can get rid of the boxes, but I like to use some of it sometimes for like backing and stuff for packaging to reuse it. So that's why it's kind of still there. And so now we're going to go over to this corner and kind of go through what's going on over here. This is weirdly a favorite tabletop of mine. So I found these gorgeous little vases that I've stuffed my brushes into, and I just really like how wavy and uniquely they are shaped. So as you can see, they're just like very cool. Very cool shaped. And I was so glad I was able to find two because I have some really tall brushes. So it works really well. I think they look really pretty. I think my Luscious, I think this is like a baby rubber plant is what it's called. I think it looks great and healthy and beautiful. This plaster painting I have back here, I don't think I'll ever sell it because it's just nothing that I do. You know, I was just playing around. So if somebody wants it, you know, let me know. It's metallic-y, but I think it looks kind of like vintage-esque metal. And then this is one of my most recent paintings, so I just have it there so it's like close by and I can keep looking at it. But I very much enjoy it as my first wood panel piece. I'm hoping to sell it in May here at the market, so you know, if you're interested. That's that. And then underneath here, we'll move on down. We have my easel, obviously, that's coming into view. And since this is right off my desk where I do make art, we've just got my old sketchbooks and a bunch of notebooks that are really just random. And we've got some small canvases down there, just a little 8 by 10, so I can just grab them. In this little brown box here, we have a lot of my ink block printing stuff. It's not something I do super often, but last summer, I was printing tote bags every week to sell at the markets, and they went over really well. So there's a chance I'll get that back out this summer because they were a really popular item of mine. So now let me move my easel because it's blocking some stuff that's back here. And even though it's hidden and really not something that I like to show, it's a full tour, so we're showing it. So let me move said easel. Oop. Basically, what this little combination of stuff is over here is these are 3 painted, just abstract paintings that I've done. I've had them forever. I can't seem to get them sold. I'm not super in love with them, so they may just end up being like giveaways because I'm like really tired of like taking them everywhere. And then all of the stuff that's back here are framed prints of mine. I just don't have anywhere to put them, and I don't want to hang them everywhere because I don't exactly know where or how to hang them, but that will be probably next on my list of things to do. And my walls are not flat, otherwise I would just use like command strips so I could move it every time I had something new, but I don't. Second little basket down here, we have more ink block stuff, but like the bigger pieces, so like non-carved pieces that are full linoleum squares and my like little press, that's in here. And then the very bottom is my Wi-Fi stuff. So it's really nice that I can stack it down there, and I was like kind of worried it would block my Wi-Fi, but it's totally fine. So that's awesome. Final piece of this tour is going to be my tabletop. So let's go and do that. Okay, we're back to where we started. I'm like out of breath from, I don't know if you could tell in all those clips, but I'm like racing and forgetting to breathe, trying to talk about all the things in like a decent amount of time so I don't lose anybody. But I just recently, if you watched my last video, decided to put my desk here in the middle of the room. Let me tell you, it made all the difference. I have used it so much more already since just a couple weeks ago, and it makes a massive impact because before it was back here in the corner and it was a corner desk and I was facing the wall, kind of like opposite of how my work desk is. So it's a very similar idea to that actually. But it's not very creative inducing. So now I'm right in the middle of the room. I'm surrounded by light with the 3 big windows, and I'm looking straight out one of the windows, which has been a game changer. So I try to keep my tabletop pretty clear. Same kind of mindset as the desk where I'm switching activities so often. That it's much easier for me to sit down and start something when it's clean versus messy. So typically all I have over here is a few empty, whatever you call these, jars. So this is normally empty, to be honest, but right now it's not. And I will put water in both that one and this one for cleaning brushes. So I'll try to majorly clean it here, and one last little rinse in the tiny one, and then put it on that blue cloth. So they're always here and ready to go. And then I have a candle for ambiance. And I also have this massive collection of whatever I could need for just like mark making and quick sketches. And then next to that, I've got this, which again is what I use when painting, just to hold my brushes after I have rinsed them in the water. I don't put them back in the little wavy vases because I still need to clean them. So this is the need to be cleaned jar, and I love it. It's cute. Oops. And last thing, that this doesn't need to be up here, but I don't have a good place for it. If I organize that second drawer of my dresser, it could go in there. But this is like my money box at markets. There's no money in it now, but it does have like information I got from other makers at the last market I was at, and like my square and my charger for that. So it doesn't need to be here on the table, but it is. And it just always is. I don't know why, but it is. And then I always keep my sketchbooks here as well, so that there's no barriers to me just kind of diving into one without much thought. Because sometimes I can get in my head and be like, oh, I can't make anything, yada, yada, yada. Everything's too hard. That's going to be too big of an idea. I can't do it. So don't I even try. So I have them here ready to go, along with my erasers, my pencil sharpeners. And the stack of papers underneath is, they're just scrap pieces of paper. Because even sometimes I get in my head that each sketchbook spread has to look amazing. So sometimes I'll just use literally a scrap piece of printer paper. I don't even know. I think it was actually Canson paper that I cut. It was like a huge piece of it. And I cut it into smaller pieces because sometimes I literally can't even go in my sketchbook. So I think my sketchbook is too much pressure. So I just use a scrap piece of paper. And that's been working really well since I made all those decisions. And I've got the Great Wave behind me, which is amazing. And I'm not going to show you this bulletin board or really go over it because it's not important and I don't like it. So, but it is there. So I actually put the bulletin board up there when I had my desk the other way. So it maybe made a little bit more sense. Now I think it looks a little awkward where it is. And I don't know, I've had the bulletin board for years and I've moved it so many times, and every time every new place I try to use it in an effective way, and it has never happened. I've never, like, I'll put stuff on it and then that's kind of it. Nothing else ever comes of it. So I'm kind of thinking maybe I can move it and that's what I can put my Patreon stuff on. That just means that I might end up putting holes in my Patreon prints, which I don't want to do. So if you have any suggestions on that, like maybe there's paperclip pins or something I could attach to it, let me know in the comments below. That'd be nice. But we are at the end of the tour. I could show you this wall here, but there's nothing there. The house is being renovated, so you can see the flooring over here is really nice and lovely. So eventually that will run into this room, which will be fantastic. And eventually I'll paint these walls and the trim. And once I get all that done, I will probably rearrange things a little bit. And so I will do another studio tour then. Hopefully it's going to be another milestone by then, because that's not happening soon in my home reno schedule. So we have a lot to do before that happens in my life. But I hope you enjoyed this tour. I talked so much. I hope it was kind of nice to see how I organize my space, especially because I do so many different things these days. I hope I was clear and concise. And if you have any questions on anything, like how I find markets or how I make my prints or what I decide to print and what I decide not to print, yada, yada, just go ahead and ask me. If I get a lot of questions, I will collect them all and do a Q&A video. If I just get a few questions, I'll answer them in the comments. But I will comment down there if I will make a Q&A. So you can figure it out that way. If you're the first comment, then yes, go ahead and ask. But I appreciate y'all again. Thank you again for all the subscriptions to my channel. That's amazing. And I am just super, super grateful. And I'll see you in the next one. Make sure you do subscribe if you're new so that you can know when I do my next video. It'll probably be another studio vlog. It'll probably be me prepping for Art Whirl. If you're in the Midwest of the US of A, Art A Whirl takes place in Minneapolis every year. And it is the largest open studio showcase at least in the nation. I don't want to say world because I don't know, but I kind of want to say that just because there's so many artists, and there's like this area of the city is artist filled to the brim. And on this weekend, everybody opens their studio doors, just like Frozen. They're opening up the gates, right? And everybody's welcome in. And it's so fun. It's a big old party. So you should come hang out. It's May 19th, 20th, and 21st of this year, 2023. Last year was my first year participating, and it was a blast. So fun. There's tons of breweries, tons of live music. There's people everywhere. Everyone's in a good mood. All the doors are open. Like I said, it's just a very fun vibe, and there's so much to look at. And everyone's having a great ass time. So if you're able to, come check it out. You don't even have to come see me. Just come. But back to just thanking you and saying goodbye. And I'll see you again later. Peace out. Love y'all.